Alrighty, daily trading recap on this Friday, the 3rd of June, 2022. End of the week here. SPY looking at a 1.64% day in the red. In total, going to be nice and quick and brief again. Same shit, different day with the automated algorithmic futures trading strategy for the first 15 minutes of open and the last 15 minutes before close there. To Christ be the glory above all of it. I'll go over dollar volume quick first, just for reference for me. NASDAQ $220 billion volume on this day. NYSE $249 billion volume traded on this day in OTC markets. $1 billion volume traded on this day. Interesting to see there. So again, no equities traded for me, taken off pretty quickly after the open. After that, just setting these 9:45 and 3:45, 9:30 and 3:45 strategies, just sending them off to let them go do their thing, and then of course get in that real world, doing real world stupidity job there, just get some more side cash to start supplementing these accounts as of right now, especially over these summer months, as I just want to continue to stay away as much as I can. That's what I'm going to talk about a little bit more too in my monthly recap that I'm going to do in a little bit, just for how good of a month it was, and for kind of in the same light it still is, but just through my own stupidity, that I kind of worked myself into this little situation. But that's trading. That's the margin of error aspect of it, for how small it is. That's where I found myself just bitten by the freaking hammer that this overall market is, the steamroller that it can be if you're not careful enough. But yeah, both of the strategies working out well. The small upside, I had a small both upside and downside profit target for the 9:30 open there. Hit it downside one within that first minute, and then bounced appropriately to VWAP there within those following 3-4 minutes there. In that little first move, and then after the close, of course, I'm away from the screen, or just before the close, I'm away from the screen, so letting that run, do what it wants to do. Has a little tiny sell-off, hits me there, and then comes up to have whatever its volatility wants to be, and then the huge volume coming in on the day there to finish it up. But that was, again, just playing the data, playing what I see in front of me, and not trying to force anything more out of it than is there, especially for the size I'm taking. It's just all MES contracts. I think this 345 one, I'm taking 2 contracts both ways, just for the higher P&L, not so much P&L, but the higher percentage and confidence I have in that one based on the 20, 50, and 100-day data or tracking aspect of that. But yeah, just still keeping the size incredibly small, learning my lesson from what I've learned all along. But of course, that $7,000 loss day forcing me to play my size appropriately once again, to not just try to swing 5 ES contracts on these things, even though they are very consistent, even though they consistently produce that hit rate and are attainable within that type of size, of to be able to get filled at the ranges that I'm looking for. But just the unrealized P&L is certainly not going to be hit with my current account where it's at, and just factoring that in of like, okay, it's not about getting huge, insane gains right now. When later down the road, when that's a 50K account, when it's a 100K account, very easily I can see myself taking minimum those kind of sizes of a 1 ES contract, or even 5 ES contract sizes, for that being the basis, Barry. But I think just slowly evolving myself back into this little kind of strategy, automated futures scalping move, not so much playing anything discretionary. For how much I've talked about it, it's not discretionary in the slightest, and getting away from that as much as I can is going to be very beneficial for me in the future, of not trying to force anything more out of it or play my emotions into it, because that's what I've tried to get away from with this as much as possible. So that's made me and forced me to be a better trader because of it, and made me look at more of the gaps and the holes in my back testing and the little data collection that is there, but also just my own mainframe and mindset as a trader, of being eager to push the button, but also being willing to let it go and do what it is meant to do, and stick to the parameters that I set for it. But also knowing when, having rules and setting the rules, but also knowing when to break the rules. It's just another important, those are 2 very important rules there in trading, that I'm slowly just continuing to evolve myself in my understanding of them and the rules I set, but also knowing when to break those rules going forward as well. So yeah, just very quick video today. That's all I had. Going to wrap up the little monthly recap here as well. Just continue to get after it for the summer months. I'm just going to continue to keep it slow and easy, get more side cash coming in, kind of spread myself again horizontally, and maybe be as much disconnected from the screens as I possibly can, while still involving myself in what I know to be working and functioning as it was so intended to be when I started playing around with it. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it's still working, keep going with it. So that's my mindset, and just continue to get after it day by day. And I'm extremely thankful for it. And I thank you guys for watching. We will catch you guys on the next one.